So if you're anything like I was in the first about year of my spiritual awakening, you are meditating, you know the power of meditation, you know that it's important not just to experience the mystical and manifest your life, but also just to be more calm and peaceful throughout the day. However, you may struggle with actually being able to experience the benefits of meditation because you end up frustrated the entire time. Maybe you're trying to quiet your monkey mind. You feel like the more you try to stop the thoughts and just let go, the more that the thoughts come. And you end up getting up from your meditation almost feeling frustrated, at least part of the time, right? Or on the other end of that, you may have a good meditation, but then you go throughout your day and you find yourself in these fight or flight states, find yourself getting triggered, you find yourself experiencing anxiety and overwhelm. And so you're really looking for a way to not only maximize the benefits of your meditation, but to connect deeper spiritually so that you can have these really profound experiences instead of ending up feeling really frustrated. And then, like I said, being able to maintain that sense of peace and calm and connection throughout the entire day, as opposed to just when your eyes are closed, your blindfolds are on, and you're playing music. That's exactly what I'm going to dive in today. I'm going to give you the number one tool that I've used in my own life and now helped others so that you can get the maximum benefits out of your meditation, but also extend that throughout your day so that you're experiencing that state of connection and inner peace and creativity and manifestation throughout your entire day. Okay, so the first 9 months to a year really of my spiritual awakening, I was practicing meditation. I was specifically using Dr.Joe Dispenza's meditations. This was like almost 9 years ago. So it was before he had a lot of the meditations that he has now. And the way that it started was what he called an induction, so that you can get your brainwave into a lower brainwave state. And then you can really work within your subconscious mind to start really creating your reality, working with beliefs that are disempowering. And so I was going through that process. I had never meditated a day in my life before. And it was really frustrating for the first year, really. I mean, I would have some kind of experiences, but not really. Like I couldn't get my mind to shut off. And I was just ended up, he said, you get up and you feel expanded or whatever. And I didn't. I felt frustrated. But I stuck with it because I was at a point in my life where I had done everything that everyone had told me to do. I was married, had kids, had a good job, had some property, I had an additional business, we would go on vacations. And so I did everything that everyone said to do to make you happy, but I wasn't happy. I was so unfulfilled. My marriage was really dysfunctional and unhealthy. I didn't feel like I was with the love of my life, the person I was supposed to be with. I definitely didn't feel like I was living out my purpose. I felt like I had a deeper purpose and I knew there was a deeper meaning to life, but I didn't really feel like I was living that. I didn't feel like I was living a brave life or a courageous life. It was like I was just doing what everybody else was doing. And intuitively, I knew my whole life that I was not meant to do what everyone else was doing. I sort of always had this rebellious side and a side of me that never really fit in with the norm. So I was sort of primed for what happens right before a spiritual awakening. You start asking these deeper questions. And a lot of times it's because you're living life and you're doing what people told you to do and you're not happy. And then you sort of think something's wrong with you because I have these things, why am I not happy? And so that was really what preceded my spiritual awakening. I read a book. It changed the entire way I looked at the world. It resonated with me a lot. I had never been a spiritual person, but I'd always been, I would say, connected to God. I wasn't religious. I never liked going to churches. I didn't ever resonate with religion, but I did feel a sense of connection to something really deep. It's not something that I shared with people. It was just a sense of knowing within me, but I had no framework really to put around it. I didn't really know about the world of spirituality. I mean, I would do psychic readings and things like that, but I didn't have a framework for it. And so when I read this book, it made perfect sense to me. It was like something deep within me knew it was truth, and I really, really resonated with it. And it opened up the world of spirituality and law of attraction, and you create your reality, and thoughts are things, and this whole entire space of like, oh my gosh, yeah, I knew that there was something more to life. And so part of that journey was learning how to meditate, so that really I was looking to transform myself and transform my life so that I felt like I was having more purpose. I felt like I was living a really brave life. And so thus begun the journey of meditation, as I said. And the first year, like I said, was really frustrating. I didn't really feel like I was making any progress. The only way that I could tell I was making progress was because I did notice myself being more calm throughout my day. I noticed myself not fighting with my husband as much. I was also a closet pain pill addict for 10 years, and it wasn't necessarily an intention to stop that with this, but I noticed myself taking less and less throughout the day without feeling the need to take it. So I was noticing effects in my life, but I wasn't feeling like the meditations were getting deeper. I was having these mystical experiences until I actually went to an in-person retreat. Actually, I went to a couple, and I had a very profound spiritual experience. My first experience with energy, it was very, very, very profound. Changed my entire life. And because of that, I was able to implement some really big changes. The other aspect to that was one particular technique. Now, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks sort of around this, but really the person that developed this technique is called Les Feeney. And he developed it from doing research on a lot of his students on getting your brain into an alpha brainwave state. Alpha brainwave is more like a flow state, so you're more relaxed. And so he used a lot of biofeedback machines. And what he found in his research was he tried different techniques to get people into this alpha brainwave state, which is a state of coherence, basically. What he found the fastest way was for them to focus on space, to actually focus on nothing. He tried mindfulness techniques, he tried different music, different images, things like that. And none of them worked as quickly as when he asked them to focus on just space. Their brain instantly went into alpha, and then eventually he could train them to do this on command, right? It wasn't something that they thought people could do on command, but he trained them through these different exercises, and it became the open focus technique. And what it entails is really 4 different styles of paying attention. He said that our culture really focuses on a narrow style of paying attention. You're in a beta brainwave state. That's what we call quadrant 1 of your brain. That's when you're like hyper focused in on something. It's what you do when you're learning something. But you can't stay stuck there. You have to learn the 3 other styles of paying attention. We've been able to map those styles of paying attention in our Quadrant Theory framework. It's an immersive class that we take people through to help them understand the full capacity of their brain. But really what he's teaching you is how to help your nervous system navigate through these different styles of paying attention so that when you need to focus, you can do that. But then when you need to relax, you can easily relax. But then also how to get into a flow state, which is an immersive style of paying attention. We call that quadrant 4. And then there's also diffuse style of paying attention, which is like the separation of me and you. That's what we call quadrant 2. But the way he explains, in order to move through these different styles of paying attention, and really, like I said, learn how to go from a narrow focus to a diffuse style of focus, what we call quadrant 3, which is really relaxed, you have to train your brain to move through these different cycles, move through these different parts, literally, of your brain. And the biggest aspect with how to do that is to do these exercises where you're focusing on a specific object, but then you're focusing on the space around that object. So in our Quadrant Theory immersive class, I actually do meditation, specifically taking people through open focus exercises. But why I'm sharing this with you today, because it is literally the number 1 tool that I have used in order to get into these really relaxed states. Like if I'm in fight or flight during the day and I notice my anxiety is getting heightened, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to broaden my perspective. I'm going to broaden my awareness. I'm going to open my focus. And what does that mean? I literally start paying attention to the wall to the left of me, out of my peripheral, but not just the wall, the space between my eye and that wall. So you're equally paying attention to objects as space. So you can practice this when you're in your meditation, but you can also practice throughout your day, like I said. So if you're noticing yourself having a moment, literally all you have to do is broaden your perspective, look at the things all around you, look at the objects, but then also pay attention to the space. You can practice this right now as I am talking to you. So I want you to notice your nervous system and how relaxed it can get by pay attention to the object that you're watching this through. So if you're watching it through a laptop or a phone, let's say, pay attention to that phone or that laptop. Now, pay attention to the space that's to the right of the object you're looking at. And once you have awareness of just that space, just the air, now do the same thing for the right side, the left side, the top, and the bottom, okay? So you're just putting your awareness on the distance between your eyes and an object and your eyes in the space around it. So you start to broaden your perspective. And as I said, in the research, it showed instantly people's brains were going into an alpha, which, as I said, is a relaxed but focused. So you can still do things, but you're in a more relaxed state when you do it instead of being clenched and tightened and narrow focus. Now, why this is a meditation hack is because in the process of meditation, you want to slow your brain waves down. You want to get into an alpha or even a theta, which is where you can access your subconscious mind and also realms beyond this realm. So if you're really wanting to deepen your spiritual connection and you're really wanting to have mystical experiences, you cannot do that if you're in a beta brainwave state because you're in the ego. You're in what we call quadrant 1. In order to have these deep mystical experiences, you have to get into your quadrant 3 and quadrant 4 of your brain, the right side of your brain. And so this is the fastest way to access that quadrant 3 and quadrant 4, the right side of your brain, in order to access these really mystical experiences. So why I say it's a huge meditation hack is that you can start training your brain to focus on space just as much as you focus on objects. Do that during your day, but then also do it in your meditation. You're going to quickly get into those relaxed states and access the mystical. This is, like I said, the fastest way that you can experience that. So had I known about open focus that whole first year, it would have helped me experience the benefits of meditation much quicker than taking a year, right? So if I would have known what the open focus method is and how to really practice it, it wouldn't have taken me a year to go through the process that I had to go through. Which means if you can just start right now training your brain throughout the day. So set your alarm for 3 times throughout the day. Every single time that alarm goes off, pay attention to how you're paying attention and take a few minutes to broaden your perspective, broaden your awareness, pay attention to different objects in the room, and at the same time, pay attention to the space in between those objects. So the space in between your eyes and the wall. Pay attention to that space. If you do it right now, I guarantee you will start to feel your nervous system relax, right? This is like the pathway, the portal, the entryway into these mystical experiences. If you can train your brain during the day by setting your alarm 3 times throughout the day and practice that, then practicing this in your meditations. So another easy, quick way in your meditation is if you close your eyes and you play some music, and you focus on where your heart center is. So literally like your heart, focus on your heart. And then pay attention to the space around your heart, all around your heart. And then pay attention, your heart, to your eyes. And then the space in between your heart and eyes. And then pay attention to your eyeballs. And then the space around your eyeballs. You can do this with different parts of your body. And so that you're really practicing how to pay attention to space and how to pay attention to objects equally at the same time. And as I said, if you can train your brain for just this practice, you're going to notice much deeper meditations. You can do this throughout the day. So you're going to notice yourself being relaxed throughout the day. And that even if you get triggered or you go into a fight or flight or you get anxious, all you have to do is begin to practice this for a few minutes and you will instantly feel your nervous system calm down. You'll feel your whole body. You'll feel your whole body and your mind calm down. But you'll also notice that you'll have more productivity without the stress and the anxiousness because you're going to be in an alpha brainwave state, which means you can pay attention, you're relaxed. And then the biggest benefit, like I said, you're really going to notice yourself start to slip into these deeper mystical spiritual experiences, much deeper, much easier, and much quicker. If you want to find out more about the open focus method, you can look it up on Amazon. He actually has a book called The Open Focus Brain. I think he has a book now called Living in Open Focus, so that you can really understand this concept even better. But as I said, this is one of the aspects that we teach in our Quadrant Theory immersive class. And if you really want to learn the basics, maybe you're not ready for the Quadrant Theory immersive, we have a 4-module self-paced online course that teaches you not just this, but the fundamentals of not just meditation, but also breath work. We always say meditation is for the mind, breath work is for the body. So it really helps you establish a solid foundation for some breath work techniques and meditation techniques, so then you can build on those, open focus being one of them. But you have to have these foundational practices and understanding in order to build, so you can have more experience in the spiritual world and in dealing with all things mystical and experiencing all things mystical. You have to have a solid foundation and a solid practice, and that's what this self-paced course does for you. It helps you really build the foundation and help you understand the fundamentals of the different kinds of meditation, this open focus being one of the techniques, but like I said, also the basics of breath work, so that you can really implement a daily practice and then grow from there. I will put a link in the description to that course, as well as if you're interested in hearing more about the Quadrant Theory Immersive. I did a webinar that dives much deeper into it. Both of those will be in the description, so you can check those out. If this was helpful to you, always remember, like, subscribe, but more importantly, share. If you have a friend, maybe you guys are going through the spiritual awakening process together and you think it would be helpful, share it with them. I always try to make the most valuable content so that can help you on your journey to becoming a happier, healthier, healed, and more whole human being. And so let me know in the comments, was this helpful? Have you heard about the open focus? Tell me about some things that you do, some techniques or trainings that you've had that really have helped you in your meditation practice. I would love to hear from you guys. I will see you on the next episode.